What's up, YouTube? It's Josh Palaut, the RuneScape Felon, back with your very favorite YouTube series of all time, Tales from the Jungle. This time, I'm going to be doing a story that I think is probably one of the best that I've ever done. It's a little bit delayed because my wife and I had some disagreements about whether or not I should tell this story because it's her property that I'm discussing here, and as such, sorry family members. Family members are going to hate this whole video, but as such, it took a long time for me to convince her that this would be a great story for YouTube. This is probably one of the best stories that I've got from what happened to me in prison. Or I guess this didn't happen to me. This was totally by choice, but I think it'll be very interesting. So let's get started, guys. I'm going to tell you about how I received body modification to my penis while I was in federal prison. I'm turning the ads off for this video. I'm not catching a strike for this. No ads are going to tell me that I was inappropriate. We're turning that off. I got my dick modified in prison. All right, so let's start it off. So it's a popular thing in prison amongst Hispanic people. I believe Cubans started it. Some people started it. Some people say that Puerto Ricans started it. I don't know who started it, but it's a relatively popular thing amongst Hispanics in prison to receive what they call una perla, or a pearl, which is where they take an object such as a ball of rubber from the passed out deodorant that they give. There's like rubber balls or plastic balls that, they give you the cheap little prison roll-on deodorant that doesn't do anything. Take that ball and sand it in half, have a half sphere, or like in my case, and what I think is the most popular, they take a domino, and with great skill and precision, they whittle it and sand it into shapes. It's actually really impressive. They make lots of shapes. They make little Playboy bunnies that are about this big, and they make hearts. Hearts, what I got. They make all kinds of shapes. A friend of mine had a 4-leaf clover. Like, it's amazing how they whittle down these dominoes. They take porcelain dominoes and whittle it down into tiny shapes, and you get a subdermal implant under the skin of your penis. Yeah. So let me explain. Let's take, for example, the shaft. All right. If you're a dude or if you're an experienced woman or something, I apologize so much to my family and my in-laws who will probably watch this. I apologize, guys. But let's say this is your shaft, right? If you're a dude or an experienced female, you know that there's, some loose skin up here. You got it, like head, loose skin, shaft, all that good stuff. Well, the way that a pearl works is you lift up the skin of the shaft like so. I wore a long sleeve shirt on purpose. It's my Harry Potter shirt that my wife bought me. You lift up the skin of the wang. You take a sharp object and you stab sideways through both layers of skin here. Just absolutely all the way through. You then have 2 giant holes. You stretch the skin up. 2 holes for positioning. You have to do 2 holes to do it right. And then shove the domino beneath the skin and then smash the skin back down around it and then let it heal for a few weeks. It's called a pearl. It is allegedly, I will not confirm or deny because I do not feel that is appropriate on YouTube. It is allegedly extremely pleasing to females to have one of these things, and that's just kind of legend with it. Well, I had a cellmate that got one. He paid $21 because the guy that did it was a very short Mexican guy. I think he was Mexican. That he was into Santeria and what do you call it? I guess maybe it's numerology. The people that are all about the numbers. So it was $21 worth of stamps that he wanted. Not 20, not 25. He wanted $21 worth of stamps. And my cellmate got a 4-leaf clover. He eventually talked me into getting one. Okay, so I went with a heart. Guys, let me tell you, this is literally the most painful thing that I experienced in my entire life. So the night that it happened, we're in the cell. We had 10 people in this cell because everybody's laughing, and it's not very common for white dudes to do it, even though a lot of Hispanic guys do it. And I never heard of a black guy doing it, but it's relatively common amongst white dudes and quite common amongst the Hispanic people to get this done. And for those of you who are like, oh, you whipped out your dick in prison or whatever, I even had a comment recently on my tattoo video, I can't imagine letting a dude tattoo that close to your dick in prison, dude. You must have not done any time. They're about business in there. Nobody gives a damn about seeing your dick or whatever. If you're in a business situation or you have to pull your pants down low for a tattoo, that's business, my guy. That's business. You're getting work done. You're paying a price. It's not like you're having sex with this dude. Everybody's laughing at your small dick. It's 100% straight males in a room that were basically laughing at me for this, right? So the dude comes. He comes into the unit, comes into my pod, he comes into my cell. I'm standing there with a bunch of people giggling and laughing. The dude's got the domino like this, right? I smell wine on his breath. He's been sipping some prison hooch. So I'm like, okay, this is already just a touch sketchy, okay? So the way that it works is, and let me tell you this right now, when you are about to have your wang obliterated with a weapon, it goes whoop, it goes hamster mode. It's like it's trying to go inside your body and hide away from the damage that's coming. Mentally, my dick knew what was going on and it was trying to hide away. So what you have to do is you have to whip it out. The guy has a contraband pen that he stole from, a CO's desk or something that he's not even allowed to have. You stretch the skin out, or stretch your piece, you give it the old stretch-a-rooney, and he will mark 2 places of where he feels it is appropriate to have it, which is where he's going to cut. So I'm like expecting, a razor blade, a prison shank. This dude came in there with a KFC spoon or something, like a thick plastic red spoon. It was like a KFC or like a Dairy Queen fucking spoon that was thick. It was like a half-inch thick, it's like a good serving spoon. And he takes out a razor blade from one of the razors and starts whittling a spoon. I swear to God, guys, I like on my daughter, I'm telling you the truth, every word of this story. Okay? He starts whittling down a prison spoon into an extremely sharp point. Not like a shaped blade like you would think, but a point. I mean, like almost like a Zamorakian hostile, like a spear on the top of it. You know what I'm saying? So I whip it out. He puts the markings on there. The most important part is, and let me tell you also that we decontaminated everything. He had contraband bleach. He had alcohol wipes. We wiped his glove. He wore gloves. He wiped his gloves down. We wiped down the domino. He wiped down the spoon. Very, very thorough cleaning. I was actually impressed with how professional this dude was. He had a little bag that just had all the tools, and I was 100% confident in the safety of, having bleached and Cloroxed all of the materials and the accessories that we were doing, including the pearl. So I whip out my dong, right? There's like 6 dudes in the room laughing because some of them are thinking about getting one, some of them already have one, and everybody knows it's going to be a good time because when you get a pearl, when something happens to your genitals that's damage, your brain goes into overdrive. And I would assume that's because by nature, our natural purpose basically is to reproduce. So a lot of people faint when this happens. But I'll get to what happened to me. Standing there with my piece out, got 2 lines drawn on it with a little tiny Sharpie. The important part is that he doesn't want to touch your dick any more than he has to, okay? So it's your job to use your hand to hold up the skin so that he can see the lines that he drew and know where to stab. So I pull up the skin and I stretch, and he's like, 3, 2, 1, and he just stabs the spoon straight through the skin of my dong. Here's the catch. He didn't make it all the way through both sides, right? So you got your skin like this, okay? He stabbed through one side. Ooh, Lennon just hollered. Stabbed through one side and stabbed the meat on the inside of my wang skin on the inside and did not pierce. He had to rear back a little bit and push it through again. So this hurt so bad when he didn't make it through that not only did I shout in pain, but this was so funny to everybody. He pushed it and I immediately said, you hit a vein, I'm positive. So they were calling me vain for a while. Not vain like cocky, but vain because I just randomly, I guess, decided that he hit a vein because it hurt so bad. So he pushed it through as hard as he could. At that point, I started sweating bullets. I got super, super dizzy. And not to quote, Pink Floyd too terribly much here, but my hands felt like balloons. Like I've never come that close to just fainting before. My hands went numb and my head went all tingling. I started pouring sweat and just like, and my cellmate had to grab me and push me against the wall because I started swooning. I started swooning around like this and my eyes are rolling back. And I've never fainted before. I've been knocked out, but I've never fainted. And this is as close as I came to fainting because I got woozy, my hands felt all swollen up, and I got dizzy. So they sat me down in a chair. They put me in a chair. Everybody's laughing and clapping because I just got it done. I'm like, yeah, woo. And I look, and on the counter of the locker, like on the locker right in front of me, sitting on the corner of it, is the fucking pearl that I was supposed to have implanted. I have never in my life begged a man like I did this. Okay, when I realized that pearl was not inside of me yet and I had gone through all this pain and I was sitting here about to pass out and I'm bleeding out of the wang and stuff like that, I begged. I looked at him, I was like, dude, please, bro, please, I can't take it. You got to put that motherfucker in, man. You got to put that pearl in there, bro. I cannot take it. I can't take it, dude. You got to put it in. And he's like, tranquilo, vato. Tu necesitas tranquilar. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to calm down, bro. Holy shit, dude, put that damn thing in there. And he's like saying that I'm going to pass out and stuff like that, and I really was on the verge of it. So I literally, and I only say literally in the old-fashioned sense where it actually meant not metaphorically or figuratively. If you know me, you know that. I only say literally if I actually mean the right definition of literally. I don't say it's literally raining cats and dogs like everybody in 2020 and upcoming 2021 does. I literally left a puddle of sweat this deep in the chair. I've never sweated like that before in my life. I sweated through my shirt. It's running down all over the place. I had to take my shirt off. It's pouring, just dripping off of me. My whole body's sweating and going into absolute panic mode. And so finally, at what felt like 30 eternities to me, I stand up Derek holds my arms like this and pushes me against the wall. And the thing that I didn't mention was because my hands were numb, I had let go of my dong when he stabbed because they went numb. That's why he didn't put it all the way in. He started to attempt, but then it slipped out of my hand because my hands went numb. And he's not about to grab it, stretch it. He can't do it. He needs both of his hands to put it in. So I fucked up and I ruined it. So I stand up and I put my back against the wall and Derek holds me there and I'm like, do it, do it, do it. And he stretches it, and man, let me tell you, it was like lightning in my eyes. It hurt so bad. Getting your dong just pierced, stretched, pulled, yanked, and sliced open like this was brutal. Okay, I'd like to point out a fun fact that everybody thought was hysterical. I had no tattoos yet whenever I got this done. I had the only piercing I ever had was my ear pierced for like 30 minutes when I was a kid until my mom found out and like to have slapped it out of my head. I didn't have piercings. I didn't have tattoos. I went straight to body modification. I had no problem with tattoos after that. I got pick and poke up my rib cage, 2 layers of it, 100,000, 150,000 pokes. It hurt like a bitch. Nothing compared to this. This is literally the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. I thought I was going blind. It hurt so bad. He pushes it in, and he's like, okay. And so I sit back down in the chair, and I look down. It's very hard for me to describe, but since it's a heart, the point of the heart faces away from me. Okay, it's very welcoming. It's like this. And as I look down, there's this heart with just this strip of skin over it and porcelain poking out on both sides. Like porcelain is sticking out of this side. I just see white domino coming out with a stripe of skin over it. And he was telling me, I don't remember the Spanish word for like touch or poke. He was like, toca, like touch it or push it, you know. And so I had to push the skin down, which was a deep throbbing ache, but it was not the same as the stabbing pain of putting it in or cutting it open in the first place. So it hurt, but I basically had to mash the skin down until you could not see the porcelain very clearly. Now, if you looked from the left side, you leaned to the left side and looked at my dong, you leaned to the right, I could see it. I could see the holes in there, but I knew that they were going to heal, okay? So I'm standing there, sweating bullets. Everybody's laughing, everybody's clapping, and it is finally inside. This dude had wine on the breath. I gave him $21 worth of stamps. Then he instructed me on how to make what they called a cock sock to keep it clean, fresh, etc., and keep it from getting infected while I was locked up. Which is different than a cock sock to carry contraband, which is where you have a satchel of illicit contraband that you keep by your ball sack because you're less likely to get searched there. But a cock sock is a good way to let your wang heal from this. So let me explain how this works. All right, so you got your standard toilet paper. Let me point out that in prison, the toilet paper that they give you as part of your rations is 1 ply, thinnest in the world. When you go to wipe one time, you got to be like this, all right? You know what I'm saying? So what you do is you take a roll of toilet paper. All right, you take you a good stripe here, okay? Take you a couple squares, and this is how you do it. First, you just fold it hot dog style. You fold it in half like this, all right? That's all you got to do. That is what you do. You fold it in half like so, all right? Just regular like that. Now, assuming we'll use my fingers for a fill-in here, you wrap this one around over the top of the pearl, okay? Blood's going to soak into it. It's going to get stuck. But we all know that if you're walking around with this, that shit's not going to stay there. So you take your other piece of toilet paper, right? And you make the same thing that what we would call a wick. If you twist this thing up, and if you twist toilet paper up and light the tip of it, it'll burn forever. So inmates that need fire or there's a lot of smoking going on, they'll twist up like a mile of this, finally get a flame, blow out the flame, and it'll just smolder. It'll last forever. You can just sit there and light your cigarettes, light your joint or whatever. It's good on the rec yard and stuff. It's called a wick. But this is the same thing, all right? It's just a roll of toilet paper. I didn't do that very well. A lot of things you can do, like one of the popular things is put on your leg and roll it. Boom. Put on your jeans and just roll it down. Hold one end of it and just roll it. Easy game, right? Okay, that didn't come out too terribly great. I guess I lost my touch. So then you have a rope. And this, you put around the hot dog style fold. Ta-da! Tie it right in place. No problem. And you keep that on there. Now, at the end of the day, every day, it was so funny whenever you're walking around and that damn thing would fall down your pants leg. I'm not going to lie. It happened to me a few times. Every single day when you get back in your cell and it's time for lockdown, you tell your cellies, I got to wash it. Since the blood will be dried to it and the little yellow stuff, the juice that comes out when you're healing and pussing, etc., you soak it kind of in warm water is a good idea. You stick your whole wang in the water, let the warm water soak on it, then you can remove the bandage without ripping open the scab, you know. Then I would take a little bit of antibacterial soap and dab it at both of the holes, which probably killed lots of good bacteria too, but I was so scared of infection because there are horror stories about this happening in there when it gets infected. I was terrified, so I cleaned it very thoroughly. I would like to point out that I had absolutely no problems with infection. Nothing like that. I had no problems. It healed perfectly. It healed up beautifully. I have 2 tiny little scars right there and one hell of a memory. And like I said, it's not my position to discuss the success of the theory of how it feels for women. That is not my position. It's not my job to discuss that. This wang does not belong to me anymore. I am a happily married man. So once again, forgive me, family or in-laws, if you're watching this. We're just being realistic about marriage here. It's not mine to share or give away or tell the secrets of. But this is called a pearl, and it's a fairly popular thing to do in prison, particularly amongst Hispanics. And I will never understand how, if I knew how bad it was going to hurt, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I'll never understand how I got the courage to do it because it was excruciating. Like, I mean, just, I can't describe it to you. I mean, it was about the closest to childbirth as I'll probably ever be. You know what I mean? I screamed out loud and I said, you hit a vein, I'm positive. You hit a vein, I'm positive, which was just not true. He did his job perfectly. I just assumed he hit a vein. I mean, that sucker's full of veins, isn't it? Is yours, or am I just a weirdo? Anyways, guys, so check this out real quick. We got some bitchin' Amazon cards up in here, all right? These are $10 each. Everybody's been enjoying Marvels lately, and the giveaways were awesome, and I really made some people's day. So we just got some $10 Amazon cards, guys. I got 6 of them. Don't bother posting, you revealed the code. I already looked at this. It's wrapped up. You can't see the code at all. Haven't even taken them out yet. We're going to be doing Marvels on stream on Fridays. Probably going to do 2 $10 Amazon giveaways every Friday, give away $20. Because Marvels is a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed how happy everybody got whenever they typed in their code for the gift cards that I did on my birthday, which was huge. Thank you guys for the birthday. Everybody had a great time, and everybody was so happy when they typed in the code and it was working, so I'm very glad. Don't forget to come hang out at twitch.tv/jpalault. All right, we're going to be there. I'm there Tuesday through Saturday. I'll be live again tomorrow if you watch this, but you probably won't watch this the same day that I upload it if I had to hazard a guess. That's the story of me getting body modification when I was in prison. It's one of the wildest things that I've ever done in my entire life. And if I'd have known how bad it was going to hurt, I wouldn't have been able to go through with it. But everybody swore to me, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And he poked that sucker in there and I just saw fireworks. It hurt so bad. So would not recommend, guys. I would not recommend doing this at home. I would not recommend doing this in prison. I believe that you can probably have this done at certain types of tattoo parlors and piercing shops. Go look at that instead of getting some guy on the street or your homie to do it or something like that. Would not recommend, all right? I love you guys, man. The Discord down there. We got the gram. We got the tweet. We got all that good stuff. So give a follow and a join to the Pearl guy, okay? I always like to follow people back. Then people unfollow me once I follow them back. So I'm following more people on Instagram than are following me. I just look like a fucking creep. So I got to figure out what 300 or 400 people I'm going to delete. It's going to be a task, but we'll see. We'll see, all right? I love you guys, man. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I hope it was very enlightening for you. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll see you very, very soon. Stay happy. Stay free. Most importantly, stay safe. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.